Hey, this episode of the podcast is helped made possible by audible.com. If you're not familiar with them, head to audibletrial.com/IamSaltLake. Type that into your web browser, snag yourself a free audiobook, and browse the thousands upon thousands of audiobooks that you can listen to with your headphones and listen to them on the go while you're exercising, while you're working around the house, while you're trying to ignore the kids. And if you don't know how to read, that's what's great about it, because somebody else is reading to you. Again, audibletrial.com/IamSaltLake. Welcome to the show. My name is Chris Hollifield. This is the I Am Salt Lake podcast, IamSaltLake.com. That's where you're going to be able to connect with everything podcast related. I got a great show. I sat down with Synchronice and Atheist, a couple of local hip hop artists. If you remember, I talked to Scott, Atheist, back in episode 34. I had him come on the show and talk about the Thanks for the Burgers album that he put out, which I definitely recommend checking it out and downloading it. Anyways, he contacted me just a little bit back and mentioned about a big event coming up on March the 16th here in Salt Lake City, and wanted to know if I would be interested to have Nate, aka Synchronice, come on and talk about Mike Masters 801. I told him, heck yeah, I wanted him to come on and talk about it. I mean, I think the local hip-hop scene here in Salt Lake City is amazing, and I appreciate everybody involved in the local hip-hop scene for your support of this podcast. You guys have all been great. So this episode, I sat down with Nate and had a co-host, Scott, Atheist, like I mentioned. He sat in and was I was honored to have him as a co-host for this episode. So that was a special treat. And we talked about Mike Masters 801 and kind of how that got started and everything about that. So I'm going to jump right into that conversation. Let's cue the music. You guys enjoy the show.
Showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people, making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
First of all, I want to thank Atheist for sitting in and co-hosting the show with me, I guess you would say. Yeah. We're here with Nate Syncronice.
Yep.
And we're gonna talk about Mike Masters, find out about just you as a person, kind of how you got going with it. Give me a little bit of an introduction. Let's just kind of start with that, about yourself, kind of how Mike Masters started.
Sure.
How you got involved with hip hop in general, I guess.
I like girls who wear stilettos. No, I'm just playing. I'm not playing, but I've been very in tune with hip hop since a young age. So young that I remember listening to 36 Chambers when I was 6 years old. Entered the 36 Chambers when I was 6 years old via my sister. Shout out to you, Alicia.
That was a great album, by the way.
It was, I didn't appreciate it so much when I was 6. I appreciated it. I loved it. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about, but I loved it. With that being said, it's definitely just been...
So hip hop has always been
big for me. Always been big for me. Beatbox forever. I started rapping when I was 19 years old when I was in the Air Force. It was seriously like 4 weeks before I was going to get out. And I just started rapping because I always wanted to rap. Like I would always go to a cypher intending to rap, like when I was in high school and junior high. Yeah. But it would always turn into me beatboxing. And I can beatbox. It's just that's what it would turn into, is like I'll be there with the intention of like, oh, I'm going to rap today. And then, oh, never mind. And it just turned into that.
That happens too, because you always need a beatboxer.
Yeah, every single time.
And so usually there's only one guy who can do it.
Right, and I was always doing it very, I did it well. Anyway, so 19, I started rapping seriously one day after somebody in my dorm unit got his song played on the radio out in Little Rock, Arkansas. He's like, oh, came to our dorm room. We're sitting there drinking, watching, what was it, some playoff game. And I was like, okay, well, let's play it. And we started playing it and listened to it. I was like, oh, what? Oh, I could definitely do that shit.
So wait, what were you doing in Arkansas?
I was in the Air Force.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I was an electrician on planes, on C-130s. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Sorry.
You're good to go.
To catch everybody up on the speed here.
So, came in, told us what station to tune into, turned into the station. I'm like, okay, well, this is cool, but fuck this shit, because I could definitely rap better than this guy can.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. And so me and my not my roommate per se, but my dorm mate, because like our rooms were right next to each other, downloaded Coletta Pro, started recording, and that's where that started. I came back to Utah, and seriously, the whole way back driving from, because I drove all the way from Arkansas to Utah, and the whole time that I was driving, I was freestyling because I was like, fuck, if I'm telling people I'm going to fucking, that I'm rapping, I have to freestyle, and I got to fucking, like you had, like, there was still that pure hip hop golden feel for me, like, oh, you have to be able to freestyle, you have to be able to battle, you have to be, like, if you're a rapper, then this is what you do.
I did the same thing. I would make cassette tapes of instrumentals and drive on my commute to work and back and just freestyle the whole time.
I was terrified. I was like, coming back, I was like, fuck. What if, because they're going to I'm a rapper now. Like, I'm a rapper now. Now I'm just not the beatboxer guy. Because I showed some of my friends my songs that I made, which were fucking stupid as fuck. But they were cool, at the time. I thought they were hella fucking cool. And so, anyway, went back and...
You went back to
Salt Lake. And...
okay.
And it happened. I started rapping and blah, blah, blah.
Started going to rap battles.
I started going to rap battles with Dogout.com in 2005. I hooked up with Casper. At that time, we were actually cool as far as our friendship, I suppose. And...
Dogout's how I got started too.
Yeah.
And they were doing the tail end of the U92 battles. Jendo brought me on, and it was still a Dogout thing.
And that's a good point to bring up the tail end of it, because at the beginning of it, because or Dumb Luck, myself, Dre Day, seriously, we were like the three main guys. There was a chick named New York.
And they're all from Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Here. Okay.
Right. Well, Dre Day's from Houston, but he lives in Ogden. He's been out here for a while. For his job, so on and so forth. But we were like the main cogs for Dogout and the battles. Like, we would be like the ones that would usually win all the time. Like, we would come through like, and I'm talking about from like 2005 to 2007. And then I stopped battling. I was still making music. I was still opening up for big artists. I brought out Chino Excel. I was still opening up I was still doing music a lot, but like battling was like something I was like, oh, and this was freestyle battling at the time, even though I wanted to do grind time battles, which was huge in 2006, 2007, but it wasn't here. Like, Dogout wasn't doing it like that.
Yeah, maybe we should explain that too.
Yeah,
we talked about this on the episode you and I did, but freestyle battles were pretty much the only way to battle for a really long time.
Here in Salt Lake, or just in general?
Worldwide. Everyone,
okay.
All the legends like Eminem
Scribble
and
Jam.
Supernatural and Juice, all of the top battlers were doing freestyle battles. And then written battle leagues started popping up like 2006. And you show up to the battle. There's no beat. It's all a cappella. And you get a certain amount of time, usually 3 rounds, to say whatever you want against your opponent. And it really improved the battle scene because you were coming with premeditated schemes, and you were allowed to be more creative, and you weren't harnessed by a beat. And so it really changed. Around 2006, battle rap changed forever.
So is it harder to freestyle versus with a beat? I mean, I would think it would be harder than to not have that kind of beat to keep you.
It's harder
on.
for me to freestyle.
Is it?
Definitely.
It's not hard to freestyle. Is that what you're asking?
Well, no. Without a beat or without music helping you out to kind of keep the rhythm.
Not for me in particular. It's spoken word essentially.
Yeah. That's really how you look at it.
Yeah. I mean, so it's different.
It's hard.
How do I compare this? So it's okay. So
like poetry.
That's it. That's all that it really is, except asshole poetry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not exactly. It's spoken word poetry. Yeah, it's all that it is. It's like, I'm just talking to you, or I'm rapping to you, but it's still, there'll be parts that wouldn't normally like hit on a beat. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't hit the snare right, and it wouldn't, like, it's all a cappella, so it's like you can have these long, drawn out schemes that are and you're like, oh, what? And then if you heard it on a track, you'd be like, oh, that's horrible. And then, but in a battle, you're like, holy shit, he's still going. Fuck, he's 8 bars into it. Holy shit, he's still going. But that's the analogy, or excuse me, the art form that I would connotate it to would be to spoken word.
And I think it's easier for people like Synchronice, especially, who got started doing freestyle battles, because now you can bring elements of your freestyling into your written battles. Yeah. And so, say your opponent says something really good against you and gets the crowd going, somebody like Synchro can take that and off the top of his head flip that good line back against his opponent. And if you don't know how to freestyle and don't have a background in that, then it becomes difficult to rebuttal. And so having that background freestyling can really, you would want to be able to do both these days.
It's looks like that's talent. When I've watched people freestyle, I'm just like, how the hell are they doing that? You know,
Crooked Eye went on record saying, and I completely agree with him. Crooked Eye is part of Slaughterhouse. He went on record saying that like freestyling is almost similar to like as far as a skill level to like playing the piano, in the sense of like being able to continue, like seeing the next note almost. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing like da da da. You know, like it's seriously like jumping from pad to pad almost. Like that's how I don't know. For me, I'm very visual and very somebody has to like draw things to other things to be able to remember things. And so that's how I draw freestyling. It's like, what's the next pad? What's the next? You know, what's the next? What's the next? What's the next? What's the next? Like I already know what 4 words are down in my freestyle. Does that make sense?
In your brain,
man,
right. that's like
because
giving me a headache just thinking about it.
Well, and I'm not, dude. I you know, I'm okay. There's a Joe Swan in particular, man. That guy is very good at freestyling. I thought I was really good, and it's not that I'm not saying that I'm bad, but I tend to repeat myself sometimes, you know. But ultimately, you know, there'll be a dope bar that comes out. But like I said, that's how I draw it out.
But then your nerves on top of that. I mean, you got to be nervous when you're up there freestyling.
Yeah.
I mean, so to make sure you're getting
adrenaline.
All the lyrics.
That's when the adrenaline is like a helpful factor.
Yeah.
Because
so anyways, let's go back to no. That's what makes it great, you know. But so 2005, 2007, you're involved in the local hip hop battling scene here. I mean, how is it different? Okay, let's talk about that for just a split second. I mean, was there a lot of people involved in the local scene back then compared to 2013? I mean,
No, not at all. No, it wasn't at all. It was no. Mm-mm.
Like how many people would come out to a battle probably back then compared to, I mean, roughly, 20 people, 50 people, 30 people.
I mean, on a good night.
And how many people maybe come out now?
Fuck. Our last event, Mountain West Showdown 5, we had, I believe, 125 people come through the door.
That's cool. That's killer. That's cool.
I believe something like that.
And that's a winter event in Utah. It's always hard to pull people.
17th when we had that. It was the best event that I've had thus far.
So Mike Masters, I mean, is that your idea? I mean, what was the inspiration behind starting that then?
Just a very quick story, nothing too elaborate. I was on my couch in 2011, August of 2011. Didn't go to work that morning, and I had released a mixtape which you can catch on my Bandcamp, synchronicemusic.bandcamp.com, called Never Stop. But I released that at the beginning of 2011, so about February, March timeframe is when I released that. And I got really, I said, I don't know, music wasn't really inspiring me much anymore. I wasn't inspired to make music, rather, driven. I watched a video on YouTube of Mad Ills with Grind Time talking about Rock the Bells and how Grind Time was going to be at Rock the Bells to host some battles. And at the end, he said, contact me at madills@gmail.com if you want to be a part of Grind Time. I was like, whatever, fuck. I'm not going to be part of Grind Time. They got fucking 75,000 subscribers. So whatever. You know, I'm not going to, there's nothing. I'll email them just to fucking pass my morning.
Yeah.
I emailed him, got an email back 25 minutes later.
Wow.
From him telling me, oh, you're interested, so on and so forth. Well, contact Absurd. I contacted Absurd, who at the time was the general manager for the West Coast division for Grind Time. And we hooked up. He brought Assault and Battling, which is his tryout league, was the tryout league rather for Grind Time, to Utah. And that's where it started. Now, after 2 events with Assault and Battling fell off the map because Absurd just didn't work out. I won't go deeper into that. Just didn't work out. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? I guess I could just can this whole thing or launch this new shit, you know, or just launch it and go with all the locals and we'll make it happen, and it'll be slow, but it'll happen. So that's when I started Mike Masters. David Adams helped with the logo, the making of the logo, but that's how it happened.
And it's just kind of blowing up. And I mean, so 2011, we're 2013.
We have 257 subscribers on our YouTube.
And it happened really quickly.
Yeah.
And they're really, I've noticed that your subscribers are really active. Like, you get a lot of comments on battles.
Yeah.
A lot of people who aren't battlers are very invested about how the league is performing and progressing. It's a interesting part of like the Utah hip hop culture.
So you mentioned league. I just kind of, is it like are people part of it? Or is it like a group or members, or how does that work?
I suppose it's a soft group of members, I guess. I mean, not members per se, but like a fraternity almost, I guess. Guys that participate in Mike Masters are usually Mike Masters guys. I don't know. I don't know how.
And are you all pretty good friends with each other, even though it seems like you're just sitting there talking shit on each other when you're battling?
When we're battling, it's different, but I feel like I'm pretty good friends with a lot of the guys out here.
Yeah, sometimes you'll be friends with somebody and then a battle gets scheduled and you don't really call that guy as much anymore until the battle's over.
And what's the reason behind that? I mean, I'm new to this. So
it's all competition. So it's just
kind of part of it, huh?
Yeah, well, it's like in particular, I'm battling today against Emerson Kennedy, and I drew the analogy for me in this battle as far as like whenever I go play basketball, if I'm playing against my friends, I play tough, I play very hard, I'll bump you, so on and so forth. You're not going to get an easy layup type of shit, And so that's what I'm comparing this to in the sense of I'm going to bring everything I can to the table. I hope you're ready to play, I hope you're ready to play with me because I'm down.
So how does a battle, describe how a battle works?
Usually 3 rounds, 60 seconds apiece. Again, a cappella. Timed.
Who decides who won? I mean, how do you know?
We'll either have a panel of 3 to 5 judges, or in some cases, if nothing's really on the line, then we'll just let it. I mean, they're called promos, but it's just like a battle that'll get posted. And
like, I'm having a promo battle at today's event.
Okay.
A rapper named Dr. Nick and I are having Salt Lake's first compliment battle. So instead of talking shit about each other, we're gonna flip that up and do it. Be nice.
Be like, oh, you look pretty today.
Yeah.
I like your hat,
Wow, you have the best afro ever.
Yeah, it's really, and that was like a really hard battle to write.
I bet your mom worked really hard on that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hard.
So how do you decide who you battle against? I mean, do you?
I do.
You decide
ultimately, I feel like I have a pretty good idea and eye for good matchups, and I've been. See, here's the thing. So after like the first 3 events, I was able to pick and choose between people. I was like, okay, you suck. I mean,
no, you're right.
For what it's worth, okay? But I mean, you're not as good. So on and so forth. So able to weed out guys, right?
And when you say weed them out, like not let them rap battle.
They can battle. Right now we have it's called the draft, and that's our tryout league.
Okay.
And so you can battle in the tryout league, that's fine, but you're not going to battle in the big events. And
so if I wanted to battle,
you'd have to battle in the tryout league.
And then decide.
Then if you bring it to the table, then you'll probably be able to get a bigger battle.
Huh.
It's cool to watch the guys progress. Some people who started out in the tryout league,
they're still there.
They're still there, but they're getting better.
Not all of them. No,
some have moved up to the big leagues, and some you can tell within the next like couple events, with a few more battles under their belt, they'll be making the main shows. And
Agreed.
A lot of really strong young talent right now. They're really hungry for battles, and then look to guys like me and Synchro and say like, talking shit about us.
I'll tell you what. Well, hold on. Let's go back to just really quick.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. So 2011, that's when that started. www.youtube.com/MikeMasters801 is the channel if you want to see some of the top talent in the state, to include folks from Logan. I haven't got any Provo MCs really or anything like that or anybody else, but Mike Masters Alliance is where it's happening. So again, plug that really fast. www.youtube.com/MikeMasters801. Anyway, so we started in 2001 to the point that we are today, just because I'm an honest person and just that guy. There was a little bit of a situation recently, and I'm not going to go too far into it, but that after the last battle that we had up to now, that we haven't been able to release all the footage because it was in the hands of a very good friend of mine, but just didn't work out that he could release the footage as prompt, 2 weeks later, as everybody wanted it to include myself. So that's something that has definitely been nipped in the butt, and we are, like I was telling him, his battle's supposed to be dropping by tomorrow. So, and then I believe we still have 7 left in that event, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. But I had to touch that really quick because there's a lot of
people are wondering.
Yeah, there's a lot of flack about it, which is fine. I certainly understand it, and I appreciate everyone's support and constructive criticism for that matter when it comes to that topic.
But you do, like, the last event was, like you said, there's 7 left, but you've already put out
5.
5.
Yeah.
It was a stacked card. These events are getting like bigger and better every time we do one.
But it's not going to be that big from now. I mean, I'm not going to have 14 battles, man. That's fucking retarded. Because I mean, by the end of the day, man, shit, I'm tired as hell, man. Standing up and it's 14 battles and
now he's flying MCs in, like, very popular worldwide known battle rappers from the Grind Time League to come in and battle local guys. Which for someone like me who like grew up watching Grind Time, grew up watching like all these battle rappers, like, to be on the same card as them is huge. Never thought that would happen, especially in Utah. And so now we have guys like Dirtbag Dan and Caustic coming out and
Cadillac Ron.
Yeah, Cadillac Ron coming out and battling local guys. It's like a huge opportunity for us.
Now I'm kind of, obviously not familiar with Grind Time. Is that they're just a group of like kind of like you Mike Masters?
It's a league, yeah. It's a huge league. It's definitely trying to make its name, rebrand itself. But
and they're from California.
No, they're actually from Orlando, Florida.
And you've been flying those guys in?
No.
Oh, okay,
okay. Guys from California.
Oh, okay.
They ended up being pretty worldwide.
Okay.
But they started in Florida.
With Matt Ills.
Expanded to California, and then did some things in Texas, and then went to New York. And so right now you have, there's no Grind Time West Coast really right now. Grind Time is a league, still top 3, number 3. I mean,
yeah, you have Smack URL out of New York, and then you have King of the Dot out of Canada, and Canada is sort of taken over California now, and then you've got even like Don't Flop is International League, and
the UK,
and Grind Time is sort of trying to rebrand itself, and it slipped a little bit, and they kind of split up, and now they were huge, man. Together. They were the biggest.
Grind Time had a monster 3 years, like 2006 to 2008. Like, seriously, some of the best battles like that have ever been recorded.
So what's the end goal of all of this? I mean, is it like
music?
Yeah, is that really?
Yeah,
because it's like a I'm familiar with other music genres or something.
It's a bravado thing, I suppose, too.
Is it kind of the end goal to maybe get a record deal with somebody, or is it just to have fun?
I think getting a record deal is somewhat of a mirage at this point. I don't think getting a record deal is the biggest influence for a lot of rappers in general today. I mean,
really?
Getting signed is a whole different thing today than it was in 1994.
But when you brought out Dirtbag Dan and we were on B-Side Radio, he was talking about how now he makes his living off of battle rap and making music.
Yeah.
And I think you don't even have to get signed to a big record label anymore, but you can get to a point because battling has gotten so big, you can support your family on.
Well, and that's what being able to make money and a living off of what you're doing.
If you really want to take it serious and be part of the battling circuit, then absolutely. God, man, this guy is not the best battle rapper, but he definitely made his name known for 2011. Uno Lavos, or 2012. Uno Lavos went from battling in Virginia for the DMV division of Grind Time to like being flown out everywhere. Like, seriously, within a matter of 9 months, like, just went from nobody to like top 15. Like, for real, like, get like, oh, okay, we'll pay you $400 to come out to UK, pay your flight too, and then the next week and going out to X League, and then being on the card for King of the Dot's Vendetta, and then where Canada's Battle of Disaster,
right.
And I mean, so there is a, you could be lucrative within this as far as money is concerned if you want to do it.
And it's exciting that it can happen that quickly. Mm-hmm. It's exciting that it's sort of like if you were a great baseball player or a great pro wrestler or something, you still have to work your way up.
Absolutely.
And go through that league. But you can be like at the top of battle rap within a year or two. Because it's still new enough, but also just like the way that crowds and organizations recognize talent. You want to see those guys battle because they're the most creative, or they're the most impressive, or they just get a buzz, a hype around them. And so you like Uno Lavos like rode it all the way to the top. And so even for somebody from Utah, theoretically within the next year, because of what stuff that Nate is doing, could be headed towards the top. And that's exciting for guys like me who are just, needed that opportunity.
I'm very excited to extend new opportunities to guys that want it. So as far as
how did you guys meet? How did you guys?
Where did we meet, Scott?
I called you because I wanted to get on when I battled Bloswick. And so, but I had been doing battles, freestyle battles at Barbary Coast for a long time. And then at Dog 'em Out on U92. And I just been, then the second I heard about Mike Masters, I just contacted you and said, give me a battle. And you were cool because, at first you were like, okay, well, you go to the tryout league. And then you said that you talked to guys like Lefty and Joe, guys who had seen me battle and said, like, just bring him onto the regular card. And then I had that battle with Bloswick, which went very well. And then big battles ever since.
What's the most challenging thing with doing Mike Masters, you think, Nate?
I would say dealing with egos.
As far as
just guys feeling a little bit too entitled. Not understanding how much work really goes into it. That's the biggest thing. Just being frustrated with how guys will shrug off how much work it really goes into me getting somebody there to film. After that, editing.
Because you recorded all of them and put them on the YouTube channel every battle.
And so that's the biggest thing that I would say that's the most challenging / uninspirational for me. The biggest detracting factor.
And don't you think that that's like inherent in battle rap? Like you're getting guys with big egos who want to come and be, braggadocious against each other.
I'm not mad at it. I understand. I don't understand though if like putting a video out of X individual, and X individual could be a lot of people that I could seriously just name on both hands that, you put out a battle and it's not promoted at all. You're like, well, I'll do my promotion part, like to put on X site, but like, aren't you proud of your own work? Or, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why we put this on for you, was to give you that extra exposure that do you want to be back in someone's ear again? Like, it's a little arrogant on some party's sides that it's like, damn, why am I even putting the effort in for you to battle if you're not even taking advantage of the obvious opportunity of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you even battle? Like, if you want to battle somebody and just to battle somebody, then why don't you guys just battle at your house?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, but if you want to battle and put it on video and have somebody like release it professionally with HD quality, so on and so forth, and then you put in the effort to sell it, then
because it goes both ways. Like if you're not using the tool to promote your own battle career, and this is more of a hobby that you don't care about, then give it to one of the hungrier guys who want that spot, and then will also help promote Mike Masters, which helps everybody. The second you have a battle that you don't try to get more people to watch, then it becomes stagnant and dead. And so there are these guys who are very good at promoting it and sending their battles to other people to watch and getting the Mike Masters name out there, and then there are people who aren't. And I think that's with everything.
Yeah. No, but that would be the most challenging thing, I guess. I mean, there's not really anything else other than that, really. I love it. I think it's fun. I wouldn't be doing it as hard as I was if I didn't love it,
Well, yeah, and on that same note, I was going to ask you kind of the most rewarding thing. Like, what do you get out of it? Obviously, you get something out of it if you keep going.
I get everything out of it, man. I get seeing new talent. I get hearing some of the funniest jokes ever. I get pure battle rap, man. Fuck, man. When I'm hosting a battle, dude, it's like a certain high that I get when I'm like, oh shit, is this guy gonna be good today? And then if they suck, then that high goes away immediately. but that's what I get out of it, man. I love it. I love being in tune with the city, being in absolutely rooted within, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Finding new guys that are just hungry, that haven't made a song in their life, but they want to battle. And in some instances being a mentor to some people that I would never have thought that I would be like in that position, where other than guys that I had, because I used to, I won't say I used to. Well, hold on, I'll say it like this. I used to run my own label, Very Tough, called Mr. Benny Records. Really tough, like during like 2006 to 2009. Really, really tough. Like that would be the only time that I also felt where I was helping others you know what I'm saying, find their own talent and reach their goals and so on and so forth. So with this, it's there's so many more rewarding things than there is that are, you know, unrewarding, you know.
So do you still do a label then, or no?
Yeah, but definitely not on the front burner, you know.
And what's the name? What's the name of the label?
Mr. Benny Records, BENY.
And so, talk about that briefly for a second. I mean,
I used to work at the post office as a sorter when I was 19. Like seriously, my first job when I got back out of the Air Force, and I worked with a lot of Africans, and they had, you know, a word associated with their like their name was a word. Or something, you know, and Benny meant chief or president or, you know, chief of the village type of thing. And so I was like, oh, well, I like that. So I'm going to use that. Mr. President Records, essentially, you know. And then I drew an acronym for it, Mr. Be an Entrepreneur of Yourself Records.
So is there a website, I mean, for that, or how?
Facebook.com / Mr. Benny Records.
And so if you want to put out a CD or something from somebody, I mean, is that, how many albums? I mean, how many releases have you done?
We've done 3 mixtapes.
Oh, okay, so it's mixtapes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I'm working on an album right now with Wes Thompson, but I've done 3 mixtapes with Mr. Benny, and that's pretty much it.
And when you say mixtape, you really mean mixtape,
like,
huh?
Yeah,
like an audio cassette tape.
No.
I don't know.
I know. Mixtape. That's it's
just terminology.
Yeah,
just terminology.
Yeah.
I got it.
Jargon, if you will.
A mixtape in hip hop is more.
Used to literally be a tape. But it's not anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I miss making mixtapes, like for a girl you love. Or
right. Yeah, mixtapes are more so just now music that you don't profit from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Online.
Yeah, it's usually released for free. Maybe considered like a pre-album, sort of like how like rock groups will do like EPs and stuff, but they're full length, and sometimes over famous rap beats. You'll rap over that stuff, and sometimes it's all original.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
When I put out my album, I considered it an album because it was all original music and all original lyrics. But a lot of people call it mixtape because I gave it away for free.
And you're talking about the Thanks for the Burgers album, which I would definitely, if you haven't downloaded it, go get it now. It's a great album.
Absolutely, I concur.
Yeah. Were you part of that at all? Did you do anything with that?
No. Scott didn't care to call me, so.
Scott did not care to call.
What about a future album or anything? You guys going to do anything together?
We've
in the
definitely
future,
talked
maybe?
about getting involved in projects. Absolutely.
I just started my second album, so I'm like, I have all the beats ready now. I'm like trying to figure out who to have on it. But I'd love to have Synchro. I listened to his albums. He was one of the first ones that I like got in touch with when I started listening to Utah rap, and we talked about Synchro a lot on the last episode. But we his stuff, like he worked with a lot of talented people on his projects. So I sort of started with him and then branched out and found guys like Young Sim and found guys that he had worked with, like Mike Booth. And Mike Booth did a beat on Thanks for the Burgers. And so because I knew him through battling, so he was sort of one of the jump off points to like immerse myself in Utah hip hop. Because it's true.
Like a gateway drug, dog.
He is. Synchro is like the gateway drug.
You try weed, you know what I'm saying? And then you come to me, and then it's like, hey, man, I got this. I got a whole suitcase full of everything else, dog.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But
it's interesting because the interview I did, the episode I did with you, Scott, I mean, it has gotten amazing feedback. I mean, it really has.
That's awesome.
And I think what's interesting is that a person like myself, to find out that there's such a big local hip hop community here in Salt Lake. I mean, it blows me away. I mean, I know nothing about it really. Sure. I mean, I'm familiar a little bit, and I was talking to Scott with it. I mean, I didn't grow up. I spent a lot of my teen years down in Provo with, Nums and stuff. Would go to shows,
Dope.
And
shout out Nums. Shout out Mark Dago.
Yeah, Mark's a great guy. That's about all I know of it, and to hear the stories. I mean, when I got a link for Thanks for the Burgers, I was like, okay, I got to get this guy on. And then I've just kind of jumped more and more into it, finding out about more and more artists. I mean, what do you think of the local hip hop scene now?
I think it's continuing to bud. It's definitely different from even 2005. I appreciate a lot of the young up and comers doing it. There's a lot of, just with anything else, I mean, I suppose there's throwaway shit and there's stuff that you definitely want to listen to. You get a pretty keen idea of who's really making music and who's not, who's still practicing, I guess, if you will.
If you could change something about the local scene, what would you change?
What I'm doing with battling, just enable people to be a lot more involved with everything.
And what do you mean by that? Like
when the events bring all sorts of genres within hip hop, because hip hop is like rap and gangster rap and
soul music and poetry
and and then there's like cannabis rap, and then like
cannabis rap.
Like
that sounds
like
fun.
that technical, like lyrical, spiritual,
Okay.
That kind of shit,
I just need to sit back and relax.
There is that too. There's the other type of cannabis rap too.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, there's but
shouts out to properly puffin.
Yeah. What I meant with that is that these events bring everyone together.
Yeah.
So people are able to subconsciously be like, oh shit, like I would not have ever been in the same crowd as you or you, but we're all here and we're all enjoying the same thing, and it's all hip hop. So,
and I apologize if you already mentioned where are these kind of secret locations, or where?
No,
where are these usually held at?
Right now, I'm just we're doing them at Uprock. I'm very good friends with Chase. Street Jesus, follow him on Twitter at DJ Street Jesus.
And you've done them at the Salt House.
At the Salt House too with Hillary, and we were going to do one at the Pickle Factory also with Hillary, but that got rained out.
But then Uprock took us in. And
but that's pretty much where I'm doing them, is either at the Salt House, Pickle Factory, or Uprock. Those three locations, because it's all ages. So.
And is it pretty? I mean, pretty relaxed atmosphere, or is it fights or anything like that?
No.
I mean, it just seems like
everybody's friends for the most part at the end of the day.
I mean, there's common tension, I suppose, in some cases, but it's not like I would draw I went to a... No, there's no fights. I'm not even going to do that. I'm not going to do that. There's no fights. We don't.
Yeah. Well, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I don't. I pride myself on it. So
and that's it. I wonder if that was like a stressful thing for you to try to keep everybody in line. After the first
event, I think I got so drunk that I didn't care about it, and I haven't cared about it since.
Yeah.
So, and nothing happened after the first event. There was one instance on Mountain West Showdown 3 where we apparently offended some lady that was just there. At Five Monkeys, offended her because somebody said faggot.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you can't say that about gay people. And she's just like ruining the whole show. It was terrible.
Oh, yeah. And that's,
Well, that was a hard thing, because doing it at Five Monkeys, there were a lot of people there who didn't come for the battles, who don't quite understand like what the scene is about.
I booked the night. I get a call the day before saying that they're going to have a huge ping pong or huge softball party there. And I was like, I thought we talked about this, so on and so forth. So there was a bunch of people that weren't even there for the show already. So it was double booked, essentially. So, and then, then this lady walked over and she's like, oh my God, you can't say that. Yeah, yes, we can. We can say whatever the fuck we want. So
freedom of speech.
Yeah, sorry. So
well, it's hard too. It's because like I see where she's coming from. She went out to a softball party and didn't want to hear a bunch of like slurs thrown back and forth to each other. But also like you're at a rap show, you're at a battle rap show, and that is a part of it. And whether or not you're politically correct or not politically correct, and
whatever, fucker.
It's just a part of two cultures crashing together.
Yeah.
And so I know like when my wife like overhears battles that I'm watching, she's shaking her head going like, why would they say these things to each other? But it's all sort of out of a form of respect. You're just trying to say the worst things to the other guy, but there's no real beef behind it. And it all goes back to like in the 70s, you would have breakdancing crews, which were essentially the early stages of street gangs.
Yeah.
And instead of fighting each other, stabbing each other, shooting each other, they would settle it through breakdance competitions. And that's sort of the same thing went in around that time with MC battles with Busy Bee and Cool Mo D. And so you just, hip hop has always had a way of saying like there's enough violence in our community and enough tension there already. Let's like aim this towards something positive. And so that's what Nate's doing, is sometimes you're taking guys who don't like each other and making them battle against each other, and it sort of works through that way. It's sort of like rap therapy, I guess.
Yeah. So let's to kind of wrap things up here. Mike Masters, I mean, what you obviously got something going on today, which this won't obviously be up today. Yeah. But what do you got in the future? I mean, Scott mentioned something in March. You got something coming up in March.
Couldn't be more excited for this.
Yeah, March 16th is going to be our first event for the Mike Masters 2013 tournament. It's going to be 5 rounds long, 24 MCs. March 16th, Up Rock.
Okay.
Which is downtown off of 4th South and State, essentially. Right.
If you don't know where Up Rock is, get out and go downtown more often.
If you don't know where Up Rock is, delete this podcast.
Yeah, especially if you made it this far, right? I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So 4th and State.
But this is the tournament.
So this is a big deal.
March 16th. So
$1,000 prize at the end.
Oh wow! Now we're talking. Now you better quickly learn how to spit some rhymes. Right?
$1,000 prize at the end. There's 4 sponsors that we have on deck right now that are providing prizes at the end as well. Oh, the winner will get a top tier battler
on top of $1,000.
Not one shot on 6.
So what's the best way for people to? I mean, either one of you
email me if you're okay. Yeah, email you if you want to be a part of Mike Masters Alliance and the league that we have. Feel free to email me if you're your little brother or your cousin, little sister, nephew, daughter, whatever it is. Email me at Mike Masters 801. Again, Mike Masters, MICMASTERS 801 at gmail.com. Again, please check out our YouTube at www.youtube.com/Mike Masters 801.
And what about, do you have a Facebook page or anything like that? I know
yes, Facebook.com.
Like the Facebook.
Everything's Mike Masters 801. So Facebook.com/Mike Masters 801. At Mike Masters 801 on Twitter. You can follow me at Synchronice, SYNCRO, Synchronice, NICE. And then again, you can check my music out in 2 different locations, www.reverbnation.com/Synchronice and synchronicemusic.bandcamp.com.
Jesus. And what about, let's
making moves.
Let's Atheist again. Thank you so much for sitting down and joining this. Plug your stuff while we're here too.
Yeah,
I mean, you got.
I have an album out. It's called Thanks for the Burgers. Came out in August. We talked about it a lot on the last episode. You can get that at 801atheist.bandcamp.com or just Google Thanks for the Burgers. That'll be the first thing that pops up. And you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. I'm everywhere now. So,
is social media great though for promotion? I mean, it really is.
I think so. Yeah. I don't really do much personal shit on there anymore. I had a personal page seriously open for like a week, and then I was like, I'm not doing this.
You don't have time.
I don't care. I'm not that interesting. Yes, I am, but no,
but see, people find you interesting. And that's the thing that we don't think we're interesting. Like I look at myself and I'm like, I'm just a dude, you know?
Yeah. And I dig it completely. I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
After, with everything being said, like, do you feel like you might go check out the page, the channel, to see what kind of battles these are promoting?
I've been watching some of them.
Okay.
I was watching some of them. That's why I was saying, like, I mean, I was watching. I was like, man, these guys get aggressive with each other.
Yeah.
How do they not want to fight each other? And I say that with the utmost serious. It's like, gosh, because it is very. I mean, I grew up. I mean, I think I was telling Scott this. I mean, that was my first introduction to music as a 12, 13-year-old rap, hip hop, Too Short, all that Digital Underground. I mean, that's when that was 80s, 90s rap. I mean, so I definitely have an appreciation for it.
Yeah,
but. I mean, I couldn't do a rap battle out of all honesty, but no, absolutely. And that's what, I mean, it's awesome that this is going on in Utah. And that's why I was so excited to bring you on and talk to you about this and get the exposure that I feel Mike Masters and individual, I mean, even your music.
Buy local.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love seriously. Like that's, I mean, that's honestly really what the message is what ultimately what it comes down to. It's not like I'm branching out to like Reno or Sacramento, this is all Salt Lake all the time, and so I appreciate my city as much as the next person does, and the county and the rest of the valley all the way down to Happy Valley. So
now, what about you? I mean, do you do any performances yourself? I mean, what you got any shows coming up yourself or what?
I don't have any shows in particular scheduled. Right now I have this battle today, and then I got a battle in 2 weeks in Columbia, Missouri. I'll be coming back for 2 months because I'll have 2 months off essentially because I won't battle in the tournament till May.
Okay.
And so I'll have time. I'm going to be able to release my album in that time and then schedule performances. So yeah, I'm itching to get back in. I've definitely done a couple of performances out in Logan, just as much as like a month and a half ago. Yeah. That was fun. I got really drunk and forgot some words, but it doesn't matter because I'm good on stage anyway, so it doesn't care.
Well, I definitely March 16th. I'm going to definitely try to make it out.
Yeah,
if you'll let me come and hang out with you.
No.
No.
Awkward.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. No, but it's been fun. I mean, I know we didn't touch, a whole lot on you particular. I mean, we did find out, a little bit. But I think we found out about Mike Masters and
that's
hip-hop.
my baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're here to promote and get out there because I would have never heard about it.
Absolutely.
Otherwise.
Yeah.
Without
I just can't believe there's like so much talent in Utah for this specific thing that wasn't really going on in this style until Mike Masters started.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in the grand scheme, because again, we did Dog 'em Out.
Right.
And it was just like the same people.
Yeah.
Right. And when I got into battling at the tail end, I was still battling some of those same people. Right. And it's cool to see that those guys, like Dumb Luck, has started putting out just top tier quality music. He just put out an album with Linus Stubbs.
Shout out Pat Main. Shout out Left 2 Guns. Shout out Joe Swan. Shout out B-Side. Shout out Planet. Shout out Johnny Utah. Shout out Emerson Kennedy. Shout out
Atheist.
Shout out fuck.
And I want to bring all y'all on the podcast. So get in touch. Let's communicate.
There's a lot of heads to be shouted out, man.
Yeah.
So it's like the battles are much better than I ever thought they would be coming from San Francisco to Utah. Never thought there'd be anything like this. And then as far as like local hip hop, just extremely good music put out by a number of guys. And so it's an exciting time for Utah. It's an exciting time for Salt Lake as far as hip hop goes. And
cool.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no, I know you got to get to your battle, so I know, I don't want to hold you up.
No, you're not holding me up. I don't got a battle till about 6:00 anyway. So
okay. Well, no. So anything else? I mean, anything else you want to add?
I do want to just say again.
Give your shout outs if you. I know you shouted out a bunch of people, but who?
One more time. Follow, share, subscribe, like on Facebook, buy local, everything on Facebook, facebook.com/Synchronice, facebook.com/MikeMasters801, on Twitter @Synchronice, @MikeMasters801, on YouTube, youtube.com/Mr. Benny Records, or youtube.com/MikeMasters801 for the battles. And if you want to be involved with what we're doing, email me at MikeMasters801@gmail.com.
And I'll those up.
Yeah, I'm going to put all the links on the website. So go to IamSaltLake.com to get the links to that. And it's amazing to me how people can remember their own website addresses.
Yeah. Right? Big ups to IamSaltLake.com. Very good things brewing here. I went, like I said, we were talking off air, that I definitely went to your website, and I appreciate what you're doing for not even just like any scene in particular, but for the Valley.
That's what I'm here for. Thank you very much. And yeah, all right, well, excellent. Anything you want to add, Scott, before we?
No, I mean, come out March 16th, though. This episode will be out before then. Yeah. Come out on March 16th, the Uprock, because as far as any of the battle events I've gone to so far, like, I'm most excited for this one.
It's going to be crazy.
I've got a good battle. It's just round one of this tournament that's going to really take over, the rest of the year for Mike Masters. This is a big deal. And so a lot of really strong stuff going on.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys sitting down with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Thanks.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, Nate, for sitting down with me and sharing the Mike Masters 801 story, kind of how that started, and talked about the local hip-hop scene here in Salt Lake City. It's really cool to see such activity here in the area and know that so much is going on. And if you want to get involved with any of that, reach out to Nate and let him know. I'm going to put all the show notes at episode 49, IamSaltLake.com/episode 49. That way you can get in touch with them, check out their YouTube channel, watch the videos. I mean, these guys are out of freaking control. It blows me away. I wouldn't stand a chance trying to battle these guys, or would I even try? So anyways, thanks for joining the show. I just want to make a quick mention. I'm kind of thinking of around the end of April-ish, as the weather is warming up here in Salt Lake City. I kind of want to do a photo walk downtown Salt Lake City, gather all the listeners up, and we'll go on a photo walk. You can bring your film cameras, your digital cameras, bring your iPhones, your Androids, whatever. We'll take pictures. You can post them online while we're taking pictures, kind of like I used to do back in the Instagram days, the Insta walks. But it would be an I Am Salt Lake photo walk. Kind of drop me an email, iamsaltlake@gmail.com. Tell me what you think, if you have any interest in doing it. We do have a voicemail line that is always open for feedback, suggestions, jokes, events that you want me to talk about on any show. 385-202-5926. Give me a call. Tell me what you think. Also, be sure to check out saltlakeCityconcerts.net for all the upcoming concerts coming to Salt Lake City. They are big supporters of the show. They've helped out a lot, so support them and check out all of the shows coming to Salt Lake City. I think that's going to do it. I'm going to end it with a song featuring Synchronice, See You Move. It's been a fun episode. It's been a fun show. I'll be back again on Sunday, showcasing a new individual, a new professional, somebody who is making Salt Lake City just a little bit better. Thanks for joining me. Here is Synchronice, See You Move. You guys have a good night.
Synchronice, yeah. This is the place. Brisk, let 'em know, What you gonna do, mama, let me see you move. What you got to prove, papa, what you got to lose. 2 steps in effect, just don't touch my shoes. Fuck stress, so sexy, like a good move. What you gonna do, mama, let me see you move. What you got to prove, papa, what you got to lose. 2 steps in effect, just don't touch my shoes. Fuck stress, so sexy, like a good move. Set your bars up, homie, it isn't tight. That's what they used to tell me, now they want rap every night. So I give it to them and grooving is all in sight. I battle rap all day, but I party nights. Real tough too, moving to the early light. But don't pull a quick move, I pursue big bites. What I'm trying to say is that I'm down to play. I'm also down to get it poppin', want it that way. We never been afraid, cause we know the damn game. Brisk a beast with these beats, so let's all wave. See, I'm quick with the heat, I'm in Dwayne's lane. All the change when I'm seeking up the front page. What you gonna do, mama, let me see you move. What you got to prove, papa, what you got to lose. 2 steps in effect, just don't touch my shoes. Fuck stress, so sexy, like a good move. What you gonna do, mama, let me see you move. What you got to prove, papa, what you got to lose. 2 steps in effect, just don't touch my shoes. Fuck stress, so sexy, like a good move. Blood, sweat, and smile, shit is fun but brings pain. I'm in it for the long haul, it ain't a damn thing. See this music, I use it to keep me damn sane. And get a little change, take the stay, moving cane. Lyric white, that ain't nice to cry to lose brains. See this white when the money and bills not change. Las Vegas crack tables shooting all day. Ballin' a hard way, puffin' on that Bombay. Titties in her face, I can see the nipples wave. 26, I can say I'm at a good age. No commitments, I can say I'm in a good place. Mountain West, success, stress all day. What you gonna do, mama, let me see you move. What you got to prove, papa, what you got to lose. 2 steps in effect, just don't touch my shoes. Fuck stress, so sexy, like a good move. What you gonna do, mama, let me see you move. What you got to prove, papa, what you got to lose. 2 steps in effect, just don't touch my shoes. Fuck stress, so sexy, like a good move. Yeah, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling right. We feel like we're gonna kill it until the end of time. Had a bad day, but fuck it, there's a night. Time to celebrate, cause all of us should feel fine. Yeah, let's have a drink, fuck it, let's have fun. Living right now, the motto for all my life. Age ain't nothing but a number, always in a prime. We're rocking to the sun, up this here a good sign. What? 2012 and beyond. Synchro, motherfucking nice bitch. Nice bitch. Nice bitch. Now sit the fuck down. This is the place. Brisk, you a fucking fool, dog.